Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Verona, New York, Turning Stone Resort and Casino. This is the official weigh-in for HBO Boxing After Dark. Coming at you tomorrow night, David LEMIEUX versus Curtis Stevens. A number of middleweight titles on the line, 11 p.m. Eastern Time, tomorrow night on HBO. We'd like to welcome our live audience here at Turning Stone Resort Casino, joining us here in Verona, as well as our worldwide audience via Ring TV. Our event tomorrow evening is presented by Golden Boy Promotions, Oscar de la Hoya's Golden Boy Promotions, and we're joined this evening by a champion that needs no introduction. He is a future Hall of Famer. He is the former middleweight and light heavyweight champion of the world. Please welcome from Philadelphia, the Executioner, Bernard Hopkins. We're also joined, ladies and gentlemen, on stage by Eric Gomez. He's the president of Oscar de la Hoya's Golden Boy Promotions. Our event tomorrow night being brought to you by that company and presented by Cerveza Tecate, Born Bold, and Casa Mexico Tequila. It's in the taste. Our bouts are sanctioned by the Oneida Indian Nation, the Athletic Commission, and the Commissioner Dan Gustafson representing this evening. Let's get to the weigh-ins, ladies and gentlemen. First, we'll begin with the co-featured bout of the evening. Introducing first, from Managua, Nicaragua, with a professional record of 24-7, 16 victories by way of knockout, making his way up to the stage and the scale, Rene El Gemelo Alvarado. And his opponent, ladies and gentlemen, with a professional record of 25-1, 17 victories by way of knockout, fighting out of Miami, Florida, by way of Guantanamo, Cuba, a 2004 Olympic gold medalist and the former IBF and WBA champion of the world. Please welcome Yuriorkis, El Ciclón de Guantanamo, Gamboa. This bout scheduled for 10 rounds in the lightweight division. Tomorrow evening, it's the co-feature on HBO's Boxing After Dark. Alvarado will be first on the scale. We'll weigh in Gamboa first, making his way to the scale, a 10-year professional, 35 years of age, the former IBF and WBA champion of the world. Last time out, he earned a unanimous decision right here at Turning Stone in December of 2015, defeating Highland Williams. This is your co-feature tomorrow night, HBO Boxing After Dark, El Ciclón de Guantanamo, Yuriorkis Gamboa. Gamboa steps to the scale. 131 even for Yuriorkis, El Ciclón de Guantanamo, Gamboa. And his opponent, ladies and gentlemen, from Managua, Nicaragua, Rene El Gemelo Alvarado. Alvarado, a 9-year pro. He scored victories in 7 of his last 12 fights, 2 of his last 4. Last time out, he earned a split decision in July in Indio, California. $130.25 for Alvarado. This, ladies and gentlemen, once again, 10 rounds in the lightweight division, your co-featured bout of the evening tomorrow night on HBO's Boxing After Dark. The broadcast begins at 11 p.m. Eastern Time. Be sure to tune in. This will be the opening bout on the telecast. We'll invite both fighters to the front of our platform for a face-off photo. Alvarado versus Gamboa. 10 rounds tomorrow night to open the action on HBO Boxing After Dark. This one brought to you by Oscar de la Hoya's Golden Boy Promotions in association with ZR Entertainment. Alvarado versus Gamboa. It'll open the broadcast on HBO Boxing After Dark tomorrow evening. Ladies and gentlemen, our main event of the evening tomorrow night is scheduled for 12 rounds and will be contested for the vacant WBO Intercontinental, the WBC Continental Americas, and the vacant IBF North American Middleweight Championship. It's brought to you by Oscar de la Hoya's Golden Boy Promotions, Main Events, and Eye of the Tiger Management. Introducing the participants. First up, with a professional record of 29-5, 21 victories by way of knockout, the former NABF and the reigning and defending WBC Continental America's middleweight champion. From Brownsville, Brooklyn, New York, Curtis, the Cerebral Assassin, Stevens. His opponent, ladies and gentlemen, owns a professional record of 36-3, 32 wins, coming by way of knockout. The former IBF middleweight champion of the world from Montreal, Quebec, Canada, David LEMIEUX. Stevens making his way to the scale, 31 years old, 13 years a professional. The Brooklyn Slugger coming off an undefeated 2016 campaign. He earned a November unanimous decision victory versus James De La Rosa in Las Vegas after scoring a May TKO versus Patrick Teixeira, also in Sin City. Stevens on the scale. $158.25 for the Cerebral Assassin, Curtis Stevens. David LEMIEUX on the scale next, 28 years old. He posted 2 wins in an undefeated 2016. A unanimous decision victory versus Christian Fabian Rios in October in Montreal after a May TKO versus Glenn Tapia on the Canelo Con card. 159 even for David LEMIEUX. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, this is your main event tomorrow night on HBO Boxing After Dark. 12 rounds in the middleweight division for the vacant WBO Intercontinental title, the WBC Continental Americas Championship, and the vacant IBF North American Middleweight Championship. LEMIEUX versus Stevens, your main event, HBO Boxing After Dark. The fighters will now pose for the face-off photo. Here for our audience live in Verona, New York, and around the world on Ring TV. This one, once again, ladies and gentlemen, 12 rounds, your main event tomorrow night in the middleweight division. Titles on the line in this one. Brought to you by Oscar De La Hoya's Golden Boy Promotions, Main Events, and Eye of the Tiger Management. Ladies and gentlemen, let's meet the participants of our next bout. This one's scheduled for 8 or 10 rounds for the vacant Junior NABF Super Lightweight title. Introducing first, he'll take the stage with an undefeated professional record of 12-0, 8 victories by way of knockout. From Montreal, Quebec, Canada, Yves Ulysse Jr. His opponent, ladies and gentlemen, also undefeated, 16-0, 7 big victories by way of knockout. From Williamsburg, Brooklyn, New York, Zachary Zungri Ochoa. This one, once again, for the vacant Junior NABF Super Lightweight title tomorrow night. It'll be featured on the international broadcast. Yves Ulysse on the scale first. A third-year pro, he's a busy fighter. He posted 7 victories over the last 3 years, including a 5-win 2015 campaign, 139.25 for Yves Ulysse Jr. 139.75 for Yves Ulysse Jr. And here comes his opponent, also undefeated, from Brooklyn, New York, Zachary Zungri Ochoa. Zungri, now a 6th-year professional, he notched 3 victories in 2016 to add to his undefeated record. 139.5 for Zachary Ochoa. We'll invite both fighters to the front of the stage for a face-off photo with the belt. Jill Diamond of the WBC has the belt. This one, 8 or 10 rounds. Again, the Junior NABF Super Lightweight title is on the line tomorrow evening. So are 2 undefeated records. Somebody's O has got to go tomorrow night. This one, part of a great night of action tomorrow evening, brought to you by Oscar De La Hoya's Golden Boy Promotions. Zungri Ochoa showing off the strap that may be his tomorrow evening. Yves Ulysse also wants to show what he would look like with that belt as well. Next up, ladies and gentlemen, let's introduce the participants for a bout scheduled for 8 rounds in the super bantamweight division. Introducing first with a professional record of 10, 9, and 1, 6 victories by way of knockout. From Mexico City, Mexico, please welcome Roberto El Scorpion Pucheta. And his opponent, ladies and gentlemen, undefeated with a professional record of 16-0, 9 wins, coming by KO. From Mexicali, Mexico, Diego de la Hoya. This one, once again, scheduled for 8 rounds in the super bantamweight division, brought to you by Oscar de la Hoya's Golden Boy Promotions, and presented by Cerveza Tecate Born Bold, as well as Casa Mexico Tequila. It's in the taste. Pucheta on the scale first, a 9-year professional, 26 years of age, coming off of a TKO victory from December of 2016 in his home country of Mexico. $123 3/4 for Roberto El Scorpion Pucheta. And here comes his opponent, the undefeated Diego de la Hoya. $123 even for Diego de la Hoya. De La Hoya, undefeated 4th-year professional, only 22 years young. He's earned stoppages in 3 of his last 6 bouts. His last win came on September 16th on the Canelo Smith card, where he earned a unanimous decision over Luis Del Valle at Texas Stadium. We'll invite both fighters up to the front of the stage for a face-off photo. Pose with the champ, Bernard Hopkins. Roberto El Scorpion Pucheta takes on Diego de la Hoya, the undefeated Diego de la Hoya. This is tomorrow night as part of the undercard action, 8 rounds, super bantamweights, brought to you by Oscar de la Hoya's Golden Boy Promotions. Next up, ladies and gentlemen, let's meet the participants in a bout scheduled for 8 rounds in the light heavyweight division tomorrow evening. Introducing first with a record of 28-11, 19 knockouts from Budapest, Hungary, Zoltan Serra. And his undefeated opponent, ladies and gentlemen, with a record of 15-0, 11 victories by way of knockout, fighting out of Washington, D.C., by way of Temple Hills, Maryland, Demetrius Big Meech Ballard. Serra on the scale at this time. Serra's a 31-year-old 4-year pro. He's won 4 of his last 5 bouts on stoppages. He earned 2 knockouts in his home country of Hungary in February of this year, and he weighed in at 167.5 pounds. Making his way to the scale at this time, his undefeated opponent, 15-0 out of the Washington, D.C. area, Demetrius Big Meech Ballard. $168 even for Big Meech Ballard. Demetrius, 23 years of age, a 4-year professional. He's coming into this one on a 4-fight knockout streak. His last time out in October of 2016, he scored a TKO victory over Gergo Horvath in Montreal. 8 rounds light heavyweights tomorrow evening. Brought to you by Oscar de la Hoya's Golden Boy Promotions. Presented by Cerveza Tecate, Born Bold, and Casa Mexico Tequila. It's in the taste. Sarah and Ballard square off tomorrow evening right here at Turning Stone Resort Casino in Verona, New York. Up next, ladies and gentlemen, let's meet the participants in a bout scheduled for 4 rounds in the super welterweight division. Introducing first, with a professional record of 2-3, both of those victories coming by way of knockout, representing Santa Fe, New Mexico, Sean Goodfoot Henson. His opponent, ladies and gentlemen, makes his professional debut tomorrow evening. He's from Carrollton, Texas, now training and fighting out of Washington, D.C., Alex Rincon. Sean Henson on the scale first. He's won 2 of his last 4, a 6-year pro fighter. $154 3/4 for Sean Goodfoot Henson out of Santa Fe, New Mexico. And now stepping to the scale, fighting and training out of Washington, D.C. by way of Carrollton, Texas, making his professional debut, Alex Rincon. Rincon, a Mexican-American from the Dallas, Texas area. His professional debut comes after a decorated career as an amateur, a 2013 national champion from USA Boxing, 87-14 as an amateur. 154 3/4 for Rincon in his professional debut tomorrow evening. We'll invite both fighters to the front of the stage for their face-off photo. This one, ladies and gentlemen, another outstanding bout on an exciting card of action brought to you by Oscar de la Hoya's Golden Boy Promotions right here tomorrow evening, Turning Stone Resort Casino. Henson and Rincon, 4 rounds, super welterweights tomorrow night. Next up, ladies and gentlemen, these fighters go at it in an 8-round contest in the lightweight division. Introducing first, with a professional record of 24-10, 17 victories by way of knockout from Sopron, Hungary, Adam Bad Boy Mate. His opponent, ladies and gentlemen, undefeated at 10-0-1, 4 victories by way of knockout from the Fighting City of Philadelphia, Damon No Smilin' Allen. Mate is ready to take the scale. He comes into this one riding a 3-match win streak, all stoppages. Last time out, he earned a TKO in September of 2016, back in his homeland of Hungary. $134.5 for 135.5 for Adam Bad Boy Mate. And now, ladies and gentlemen, his undefeated opponent from Philadelphia, Damon No Smilin' Allen. $135 even for Damon Allen. Allen continued his undefeated streak in 2016, going 2-0-1, coming off a draw in October versus Luis Arcio in Los Angeles. Quentin Rankin, are you in the building right now? The bad boy, Adam Mate, from Sopron, Hungary, takes on No Smilin' Damon Allen from Philadelphia. 8 rounds in the lightweight division tomorrow evening at Turning Stone Resort Casino in Verona, New York. And now, ladies and gentlemen, let's meet the participants in the opening bout of the evening tomorrow night at Turning Stone Resort Casino. This one's scheduled for 8 rounds in the light heavyweight division, brought to you by Oscar de la Hoya's Golden Boy Promotions and presented by Cerveza Tecate, Born Bold, and Casa Mexico Tequila. It's in the taste. Introducing first with a professional record of 12-3-1. 9 victories by way of knockout from Charlotte, North Carolina, Quentin Rankin. And his opponent, ladies and gentlemen, undefeated at 10-0 for victories by way of knockout from Philadelphia, Todd Two Guns Unthank Me. Rankin steps to the scale, a 30-year-old, 6-year professional. He earned a 5th-round TKO in his last bout in October of 2016 in his hometown of Charlotte, North Carolina. $173 3/4 for Rankin. And next up, his undefeated opponent steps to the scale from Philadelphia, Todd Unthank Me. $174 even for Two Guns, Todd Unthank Me. Unthank Me, a 6-year professional. He stayed undefeated with 2 wins in 2016. His last victory, a 1st-round knockout in Los Angeles over Daniel Nahara. We'll invite both fighters up front for a face-off photo. Rankin and Unthanked May open the action tomorrow evening at Turning Stone Resort Casino. A great night of action presented by Oscar De La Hoya's Golden Boy Promotions. Ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to thank our audience here at Turning Stone Resort Casino. Thanks all for joining us, as well as our audience around the world on Ring TV. Thanks for tuning in. Be sure to check out the action tomorrow night, 11 p.m. Eastern Time, HBO Boxing After Dark, LEMIEUX versus Stevens. Thank you and good night.